Hi, I'm Jay, welcome to the workshop, and today we're going to be taking you through our custom roll cage. Now, we've had quite a lot of questions, especially on other videos and on different forums and Facebook and stuff. A lot of people are interested in this roll cage. How did you do it? What's it for? What did you make it out of? How have you made it? So hopefully this video will clarify a couple of questions that I keep on having to answer, and maybe give you an idea of yourself if you're looking at doing something similar. Because basically this basic design could be adapted into a bed rack if you didn't have a canopy, or you could even extend it forward or backwards. It's the foundations there. You could actually make something special out of it. So yeah, I'll go through the reasons why we have it, how we made it, and how it might suit you in the future. Okay, first of all, why we needed one. Like I said in my previous review of the canopy, the weight capacity on the roof rack, or the roof bars on this, should I say, is only 50 kilos. The roof tent weighs 50 kilos already, and having a feel of the bars, I don't think it would probably withstand two adults being up there at the same time as well. Plus, 50 kilos is the on-road rated weight limit. So you can easily half that if you plan on taking this thing off-road. So the only way I thought of going about this is, well, there's one of two ways. You're going to need a rack of some sort. You're going to need some extra support of some sort. The only off-the-shelf option I could find is from ARB, and that was their internal rooftop tent rack or roof rack. That was only available for ARB's own line of canopies because they followed the actual shape and line of the canopy itself. So internal was an option. However, you had to drill up and through the canopy to get the rack mounts to the outside. So I wasn't too keen on that. Plus, this has got like a bit of a cavity between the leather interior and the actual fiberglass roof of the canopy. So it wouldn't look right, basically. So the next option was external. External kind of made sense to me. Yes, it's a bit ugly and a bit out there, but also in an event of a rollover, if I made this well enough, it would protect the canopy from turning into flakes of fiberglass, basically. I'm not saying a high-speed rollover this is going to protect it. Far from. This is not an MSA spec rally roll cage by far, but if we slowly topple over to the point where the cab wouldn't get damaged or wouldn't collapse but the canopy would, this is, it's going to help anyway. It's not rated or tested, but it's better than nothing, right? The main thing we wanted is to mount the rooftop tent onto, so if it's able to protect the canopy in the event of a rollover, it's a bonus. So again, there was no off-the-shelf option from what I could see other than like a full exoskeleton roll cage, which I didn't really want to go down the line of doing that. We're not really doing the kind of off-road that would warrant an external roll cage such as that. So I sat and designed my own, and the biggest problem I came across to begin with was, how am I going to mount this? I thought about going straight to the chassis. Looked a bit cumbersome, plus it would catch possibly. The only other option really was to look at trying sitting it on the bed rails, because at the end of the day, an aluminium canopy, that's what the weight has been taken, it's going onto the bed rails themselves. So this is what this bracket here is. It's basically like a U-shaped bracket. It's got a slight angle on it to follow the shape of the car, and then it screws. I've drilled holes into the side of the bed rail, so the bed rail kind of is a U-shape into the side of the U-shape, just to mainly stop it moving up and down, and to stop it twisting as well. So the main weight of it sits on there. In these cups, which I made mainly just to keep DVS happy, which is our version of DVLA. If anything hits that, it should kind of roll away from. You're not going to get caught on that. The idea behind it anyway, rather than just having a big pole stuck out. In here, onto the plate is welded a 1.25" pin with a washer, a big 30mm washer, sorry, welded onto that, about 3 or 4 mil thick. That stops it from the actual roll cage from sliding any further down. And then a hole drilled through the pin to sit the actual roll cage itself. The roll cage is made out of steel. It's actually steam gauge pipe, so the pipe they use for water mains, steam, oil, that kind of stuff. So it's around about 5mm thick wall. It's not seamless like roll cages are meant to be, but it's what I had to hand, and again I wasn't expecting it to be MSA roll spec standard, so wasn't too worried about that. Once I got the mounts figured out, the rest of it was pretty easy. It's just as you would design any other roll cage, really. Took a few measurements, cut a few bits to length. The bends are actually pre-made bends that we welded on. We tigged the actual root in to make it strong, because obviously that is a bit of a weak point. Normally roll cages are bent out of one piece to try and keep it from as less connections, less welds, less weak points as possible. One design feature I had to keep in mind is this had to be removable. The reason it had to be removable is because you can't get the canopy out from underneath it once this is put on top. So these bolts here, when undone, the whole canopy lifts, the whole roll cage lifts up and out off it. Again, this has been handy a couple of times for repainting, for adding these light brackets on the side as well. And like I said, if I ever wanted to take the canopy off for whatever reason to get it resprayed or something along them lines, I'd have to take the roll cage off. So if you think about doing it yourself, basic design is just 2 loops that go around, connected by at least one set of crossbars. We started with one set, which is the set atop here, to tie them both in. However, when we rotated our rooftop tent over, I added another set on top, mainly just to mount the rooftop tent onto. However, it's extra strength in case it needs to take that extra bit of weight. Other consideration was the brackets are quite close to the paintwork, so what I did is I put a bit of rubber insertion or a bit of rubber matting in between the paintwork of the vehicle and this, mainly to stop any scratching and then corrosion. I don't know how well that's working, but it doesn't seem to be rusting, because normally you'd see a big rust mark coming through here if that's the case, so it seems to be doing alright so far. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you're relatively skilled with a welder and have some time and patience, it doesn't take that much to actually figure out. This is one of a kind. I haven't seen anything similar to this on a Hilux before. If you want any personal advice, any extra advice in help designing it for a similar size pickup but different shape, give us a shout. I'm more than happy to help. And unfortunately, like I said before, there isn't a off-the-shelf option for this kind of thing that I've seen so far. I've even had a request that I actually build someone one and actually ship it over, but as you're probably aware, vehicles aren't all made 100% the same. There can be up to a 5mm difference in chassis alone as it comes out of the factory. So I actually made this on the vehicle. So I mounted the actual pins, the mounts first, and then actually built the roll cage on the vehicle, making sure that the canopy was protected when we tacked up. So there's a lot of tacking, removing, welding, putting it back on, tacking, welding, removing. But it's the only way to do it, really. If you try and do it off plan, it's just not going to work. So yeah, if you're planning on doing something similar, give us a shout. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. Give us a thumbs up if you've liked this. If you think that a roll cage like this is a good idea for these kind of vehicles. And if you already haven't, subscribe. You get all these videos before everyone else on social media. So until then, I shall see you later.